What's up everybody, Jesse here with another video game news roundup. Once again, if you're a fan of this channel or just want to chat with other Zelda and video game fans, a link to my public Discord server is in the description below and the top pinned comment. If you want to keep up to date with future gaming news, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Starting off today's news, we have some interesting gameplay mechanics taken out of Breath of the Wild. Coming from a GameStop interview with Zelda art director Satoru Takazawa and director Hidemura Fujibayashi, which I probably mispronounced. They said, until about halfway through development, we had a spec where you could take your weapon and stab it into a wall. When your stamina gauge was dwindling, you could stab the weapon and kind of hang out and rest there. So the answer is that Mr. Miyamoto heard of the concept. He said, "You can't stand on the tip of a sword, this is strange." Then, when we explained, no, you stab it in. Then he's like, no, it's not going to work. Another idea is that it's very hard to actually stab a sword into a big piece of rock. We considered that you could stab them into cracks or crevices in the wall, but then you can't freely use that feature anywhere you want. So I decided not to implement it. So starting from the early stages of development, we had been constantly showing Mr. Miyamoto our progress. At times, we would even show him once a week what we'd been working on, because if we don't do that and then go face to face and present the idea, tables might be flipped. I imagine this would be similar to the beginning of the Rise of the Tomb Raider, where you can stab the cliff with the ice pick and keep climbing, but with a sword. Second, we have some interesting things people have done in Breath of the Wild. One person pushed a guardian to Molduga and had them fight. Another person pushed one Cass to another Cass, so even though they are both the same person, the game can render more than one at the same time. It makes me wonder if you could do this to Beetle and some of the other characters. Next up, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will let you play as Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren, and other fan favorite characters. Definitely a step in the right direction, especially considering the first didn't even have a single player campaign. Dark Souls and Tekken publisher Bandai Namco teased a new game, and used a tagline of "Prepare to Dine." Not a lot is known about this project, but some theorize it could be a Dark Souls spin-off or a new IP entirely. As detailed on Nintendo's website, via Go Nintendo, the first round of maintenance is scheduled to take place on Monday, April 17th, starting at 5 p.m. So if you're watching this, that'll be today. The 2-hour maintenance period will impact network services such as online play and rankings. Then on April 19th, from 6:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Online services for Switch, Wii U, and the 3DS may become available as part of scheduled maintenance. Nintendo also said today that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has sold 1.3 million units. That's 925,000 were sold on the Switch, and almost 460,000 on the Wii U. These numbers combine physical and digital sales, and only represent figures for the United States. So, the worldwide numbers for total sales are even higher. In a past interview, Nintendo mentioned Breath of the Wild would need to sell at least 2 million units in order to make a profit because of the 6-year development cycle that it had. Reports say that the Nintendo Switch has outsold the PS4 and the Xbox One in March, which honestly isn't too surprising, seeing as the first few months of any console typically sell more than any other month. So I expect the Switch to stay on top until around E3 time. Nintendo has released some detailed profiles for some of the characters in ARMS. First up is Springman, who sounds like a Mega Man boss. It says he's 5'11", 168 pounds, 20 years old, loves working out, and pizza. So yeah, just basic details on the character's personality, height, and everything else. So you can go into the game and actually know a bit about the character before you play as them. Sonic Forces has a few new screenshots that show the game looks as great as the new Ratchet & Clank game, which basically looks like you're playing a Pixar film. Capcom gives a lot of details about their upcoming Ultra Street Fighter 2 for the Nintendo Switch. A few of the plot points says, with it being Street Fighter's 30th anniversary, they were thinking about how to provide an environment for longtime fans who have been supporting the series and want to play Street Fighter again as a way of saying thanks. This is right about when the Switch started to come into focus. When looking back on the original Street Fighter players, who are now grown-ups, Street Fighter 2 was brought up. The goal is to make Ultra Street Fighter 2 enjoyable for both parents and children. And if you want to read more, you can check out the full details in the description below. Nidhogg 2 developer says it makes sense to bring the game to the Switch, so if you're a fan of that game, be excited for it to be coming to the Nintendo Switch sometime in the near future. I would guess. I think this would be good for a Nindies Direct or a Nindies announcement at E3. When the director of Star Wars Battlefront 2 was asked if the game could make it to the Switch, he said that's a question for another day. So maybe they're seeing how well it sells or how well they can get it running before they begin confidently saying it will release on the Nintendo Switch. If it does, I'll definitely be pre-ordering. Star Wars on the go would be awesome. I'd expect an announcement at E3, and if we don't get it then, it's likely it won't be released on Nintendo's console at all. Once again, if you're a fan of this channel, feel free to join our public Discord to chat with fans of this channel, myself, and fans of Nintendo and Zelda. Please subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts on today's news in the comments below. And once again, I want to give a shout out to my top 10 best and worst of Breath of the Wild. So if you want, please go check out that video. I want to thank you all for watching this video and welcome to the End Slate. If you're a fan of these videos, you can follow me on Twitter for updates on future videos at GameOverJesse. Please subscribe, like, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you would like to watch even more of my videos, click the video to the left or let me know what types of videos you would like to see in the future. I would like to take the rest of this time to thank all of my Patreon supporters. If you're a fan of this channel and would also like to help us out by becoming a Patreon supporter and get some awesome rewards for yourself, like being a part of my videos, shoutouts, custom avatars, giveaways, being added to our private Discord to chat during live streams, and more, please visit patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where even smaller supporters at the $1 level will get you some awesome stuff. Finally, a huge thank you to this month's supporters: George Says Hi, Link Uses the Triforce, Transcendent Sacred Courage, Glenn Cassio, Prey Warrior, Victopedia, Rusty Caulfield, Robert W., Amanda Pina, Lunarium, Chris Gasparin, Harris Priest, Lovable Christie, Key of Time 15, Jerome Measure, Daryl Quinnen, Furzin 16, Kadron, Magic Tech Review, and the Itch Network.